Hi, Rose and Nikesh. How you guys doing today?
Bonnie, very good, thank you. How are you?
Really well.
I'm fantastic. Listen, thank you for this fabulous series. I binged the entire thing over the weekend. I had so much fun watching it. And Rose, I got to tell you, these characters are so relatable. They are normal. Like honestly, there's no BS about them. Tell me a little
Oh,
bit
that's so
about how
sweet.
this all yeah, how did this all come to fruition for you? Because you are a stand-up, you are a comedian,
Yes.
and what made you kind of sit down and say, I'm going to put this series together?
Well, I think I've always been a writer as well, and always wanted to write for television, or have written for television, really. And I think it came to a point where I was in the UK and figuring out what I wanted to do next after doing stand-up stuff, and the opportunity to kind of pitch a television show came about, and I sort of pitched something that I would want to watch myself, which is definitely just a nice rom-com. As a massive fan of that kind of genre, and and yeah, surely conveniently cast myself in the lead role, whatever. Yeah, don't talk about it, that's not a big deal. But yeah, that is a perk of the job of writing it, is that you can kind of put your name in the mix as to being like in it as well. But it was just the natural thing that I thought, it was a nice and lovely. Thank you so much for what you say about the characters in the world, because I think that's such a warm kind of genre to operate in, to create characters that I think are relatable and just nice to be around. And that's what I love watching. I love watching characters that you want to spend time with and you want to watch. And yeah, so hopefully we slightly achieve that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Nikesh, I got to ask you, first of all, I understand that you auditioned for this via Zoom, so that's kind of interesting to me. But what I love so much about your character, here he is, this famous guy, Tom, who Jessie has in her phone as Tom Famous, which makes me laugh every time I see her cell phone. But she doesn't know who he is, and I love that. What was it for you when you saw this script? You went, I gotta play this guy.
Well, I think you hit on something there. I think part of the attraction is someone that cuts through the BS of this kind of business. I would imagine for Tom, because I certainly don't have the kind of career that he has. I don't think I would want it particularly, because it comes with all kinds of stuff that gets in the way of, quite clearly in the case of the show, it gets in the way of a relationship. But I did like the fact that it offered a bit of a glimpse into what the reality would be like if you operated at that level in this world. And it's just fun. There are situations where I enjoyed getting to act out or act up certain parts of being an actor. And obviously you have the freedom of doing that with a very funny script and knowing that if you misbehave, that you don't have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. Now, Rose, I want to say, I mean, the two of you had, to me, it felt like instant chemistry. I love the relationship, and I loved how it grew, because I was rooting for them. I really wanted them to get together, but it was, it was awkward at times, obviously. Tell me about when you and Nikesh got together for the first time. Was it instant between the two of you?
I mean, we first ever met over Zoom, right? And then we met in person. Nikesh had already seen me do stand up, so that was already out of the way. But I'd never met him, so I didn't, so I didn't have to do the whole "Do you know who I am?" Like, which I did, obviously. I didn't,
Which you do with other
necessarily do that
people, but
bias.
yeah.
Of course, every other person. I'm like, I don't think you're aware of my work. No. I think it was a really good sign, because Zoom is such, as we all know, is such a wall between people, sort of properly gauging as to whether or not they have, chemistry, or anything like what real life friendships and relationships are. But even through Zoom, I think you sense someone's warmth and ability to like bring a character to life, and I just think I think that's a very good test of whether or not you'll be able to work with someone and make something good out of it. So I think it was actually almost better having the Zoom first and then the in-person thing, because yeah, Yeah, it's also really weird position for Nikesh to be in as well, having done it on Zoom first. But no, I think it just clicked. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you can
look,
see it. You can see
people
it
in the
on screen.
real
I loved
world,
it.
people in the real world have been
Yes.
having Zoom dates in place of IRL dates, right now. But now, so I think that's possibly a similar thing
Totally.
at play.
Totally.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Now, I got to ask you guys, because what's really interesting about fame and about celebrities these days is we can just access them on Instagram, Twitter, all of these things. Like, back in the day, God, we could never, you'd have to write a fan letter. So, Nikesh, I want to ask you, I mean, being on social media, I guess that for the both of you, what's the craziest thing that somebody's maybe reached out to you and said, like, do you get offers for dates online?
I mean, there's a bit of that, but I have to say, in terms of like crazy, I don't want to jinx anything. It's been nice, and it's been particularly when it's people responding positively to stuff that you've done. I think that's really nice. I'm not about to plead ignorance to what a terrible place the internet can be sometimes, but
sometimes it's lovely.
You can find your people, or you can.
I get a lot of weird things drawn of me. I get a lot of weird drawings. Right. And remember when I challenged people to online boggle? That was nice on social media. I actually put it on my Hinge account, like like a dating app, that to come and meet me on online boggle, and whoever actually beat me could actually, we could talk. But no one beat me. And then I opened it up to Instagram, and then it got out of hand, and then I had to leave the online boggle world for a while. I had to go underground.
Yeah,
get a new username.
I get it. Yeah, you gotta play it safe there, Rose. Now, I gotta say, in episode 2, what made me smile was Jessie's happy sex dance. I loved that scene when she came off the boat and she was doing her happy sex dance. I mean, I think everybody needs a happy sex dance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it for all those people who can't do it. And at a time of the global pandemic, you watch that, you live vicariously through Jessie. I mean, it's very much, it's very much her win as well. Like, I mean, I've never done that personally myself. Actually, someone did ask that in an interview. They were like, "So is that based on a true story?" And I'm like, "No, no, that's pure fantasy." But no, I'm glad that moment has brought joy to a lot of different people. It helps a lot with the kind of iconic track, a Mark Morrison track. Anything's going to be good when it's in slow motion, and to Return to the Mac,
I agree. Yeah. Now, Nikesh, I got to ask you if there was any celebrity out there that you could maybe just go on a date with. Do you have somebody in mind?
Ooh.
I think I've learned too much. I think I've learned too much from playing Tom, and I'm going to preserve the mystery. I'm going to keep it to myself.
Wow. Okay. Someone thinks that they actually can date a celebrity. I'd be like, immediately.
Rose?
Brad Pitt.
And Rose. Yeah, but Rose, how about you?
No,
Rose, how about you? I mean, aside from Nikesh, you've already had the Nikesh experience.
Rick Moranis.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Nice.
Hey,
the only person.
I'm talking to you. Wait a minute. Guys, I'm talking to you from Toronto. I might be able to hook you up with Rick Moranis.
Honestly,
who knows?
In New York. I already know. I know that he lives in New York. Look, I know a lot about Rick Moranis. I'm a huge fan, and genuinely, he is a person. If I ever met him, I would crumble. I love him. I'm in love with him, and I would love to go on a date.
You've gone all gooey.
I know. It's so just the idea of it. Oh God!
I love that. Well, he is at heart. He's a Toronto boy, so we'll see. We'll get it out to him. Anyway, guys, listen. Congratulations on this series. It's playing now here in Canada on Crave TV, which we get, and I loved it. You guys are so fantastic in this, and I know Rose, you may not want to do a second part, but I want to see what happens after. So think about season 2 for me. Okay,
we're thinking about it. It's reluctantly. Look at me under duress. Yeah, okay, fine. Do another series.
Come on. I appreciate it. Guys,
Okay.
thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time
Bonnie.
today. It's such a great
Thanks, Bonnie.
series. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.